Hinge?
Hinge, probably number one. Bumble, sure, works sometimes. Tinder, I have no idea what that is. Like, are there people on there or is it just robots?
I do actually know people that got together through Tinder.
Oh.
Which, they're broken up now. But I always thought it was like a sex app. And therefore never really...
Yeah.
It starts with a swipe.
Oh my God, is that their slogan?
I think that's what it... Haven't you seen the massive billboards on... Oh, you don't take the tube because
I don't take the tube because I take the overground.
Live in
I take the
East.
tube sometimes.
Not enough to be able to... Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Sam Ellie, and this is Lonely Heroes, the show that shares stories, tips and tricks with those thinking of moving abroad and, well, anyone else really who comes across my channel.
My name is Nathaniel. I am from Belgium. Technically, I was born in the United States, but I spent most of my life in Belgium.
And what brought you to London in the first place?
I guess technically my job. I finished my PhD in Brussels and I came to London because I was offered a postdoc position here. I wanted to get out of Belgium and sort of explore the world, go somewhere. And so I was just kind of looking around for places to go, especially like in academia. And when you finish a PhD, you're looking into like short-term contracts. And so in a way, it's almost convenient that you can go somewhere for a short time. And then I was offered a job in London and that seemed perfect.
So that brought you to London. And what's the job?
I work at a university to do academic research.
I did actually get a review of you. I went on Yelp. I didn't go on Yelp, but
It was an interesting place to find views.
So I found a review of you on Yelp. I just typed in Nathaniel, the genius scientist. Super interesting and fun guy. Genuine, kind, funny, and down to earth. A solid 10 out of 10. P.S. Sorry, ladies, he's taken.
That sounds so generic. Is that ChatGPT?
It might be.
Oh.
So you moved to London, and that was how long ago?
3.5 years ago. I moved like end of 2020 because that was the cutoff to get into the pre-Brexit scheme.
Yeah, Brexit.
Good stuff.
Do you remember what it was like? Did you wake up one day and go, Belgium, it's great, but also London, better?
No. I think like I really like Belgium and I really liked Antwerp where I lived, but I just wanted to kind of get out. It's a small city, I would say. Something that I learned, like especially having lived in London now, it feels like a town, basically. Yeah, I just felt kind of cooped up and I kind of wanted to explore a bit. London was kind of a random choice, really. I don't think I had even considered London until I was sort of offered a job here. I didn't think I would get along with Brits initially.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think...
We're so lovely, what?
Yeah. Europe, well, mainland Europe has a bit of prejudice against Brits. I wonder where that comes from.
What do they say about
Yeah, something
us?
about lads on tour. I don't know.
Ugh.
So the reputation of Brits in mainland Europe is probably not incredible. But, you know, I, funnily enough, coming here, discovered that England culture, or English culture, and Belgian culture, very, very similar.
What are the main, or a couple of things that you can think about that make us quite similar?
I think there's like a similar type of humor.
Ah.
There's like a similar type of self-deprecating sadness. Is all very funny to both Brits and Belgians. There's like a small town sadness to Belgium countryside and I think to British countryside as well. Going to the pub every day until you die.
Well, I don't do that, so
Yeah.
I only do that once a week, which
Yeah.
I guess is still awful. Obviously coming here and being here for how long? 3.5 years, you said?
Yeah.
That implies that you don't hate it. But,
You'd be mistaken. No, I'm joking.
but there may be one or two things that you don't like so much about London.
Yeah, definitely. I hate it. No. No, like, as you said, I really like it here. I think one of the things I really like about London is that a very big, very international city. And I think hand in hand with being a massive city is that it's a very fast-paced lifestyle. I imagine like everyone has said this on your show, but I hear it all the time as well when I talk to people.
Well, yeah, fast-pacedness. Some people love it, some people
Yeah.
do not love it.
Like, it's both for me. I think it's really cool that there's always something going on and you can always find something to do, but it goes hand in hand with a sense of FOMO that there's always something going on. And, you know, and after a while you keep doing things and you feel this pressure to like, oh, there's like a gig going on that I really want to see, but then there's maybe a gallery I want to check out, or my friends are going to do this thing. And in a way, it's fun to have that choice, but when you have a lot of things going on every day or a lot of days of the week, then it sometimes gets kind of overwhelming. And then when I have a moment of rest, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm just doing nothing.
Do you ever just have a weekend where you're like, I'm going to say no to plans because I know I've gone out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Gonna have a party on Friday. Saturday, I just have to just say.
I never really plan it, but yeah, it happens where it'll just be like suddenly, like on a Saturday, I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna do absolutely nothing today, and it feels good.
Like that Bruno Mars song.
I don't know it.
I don't feel like doing
Oh, I do know that.
anything. May cut that out. God. So the fast-pacedness, but also the FOMO of the fast-pacedness being yes, not being able to do everything because there's so much to do.
Yeah.
There's so many options that you're kind of like, I can't do it all, and therefore you just end up burning out because you're trying to do as much as possible.
Definitely that, for sure. And then, obviously it's very expensive. Goes
Bit of an understatement.
Yeah, and that sucks.
How often do you go out for like dinner and stuff? Or...
I try to cook a lot, and it's not even just to save money. It's you start to feel very like greasy and unhealthy if you've gone on like 5 dinners in a week.
Yeah.
I do try to cook a lot, maybe like once a week. Rarely plan it, but you know, there's.
You don't come across like a planner based on the 2 things you've just said.
Yeah, I didn't plan to come here, and I didn't plan to stay here, and yet definitely once a week, I would say. I end up eating out, probably more.
Is it like the Dalston area you tend to stick by? Because I've talked about House of Momo. I don't know if you've been there.
God, House of Momo might be my favorite place in London.
It's everywhere. Well, it's definitely, like, I've spoken to a few people now, and it's like, House of Momo slaps. Absolutely.
It slaps hard. It's so good. It's for so many reasons. Like, the food is amazing, obviously, but a lot of places in London have amazing food. But it's also cheap.
Yeah, it's also not going to break the bank.
Exactly. It's cheap for London, let's say. But it has the vibe of, like, you know, like just a very authentic place. It's Nepalese food.
Yes, it is. Nepalese food.
It's good, yeah.
Dumplings. Yum. Haven't eaten yet today. It must have occurred to you that you are here without family.
I hadn't noticed that.
Is that something that impacts you? Is that something that you think about? Or when you first arrived, were you kind of homesick at all?
Well, I'm in luck in the sense that I'm from Belgium, which is very close by.
Not far.
It's 1 Eurostar ride away.
Oh, I didn't realise you could go on the Eurostar.
Yeah.
It makes sense because you can go to France. So,
yeah, exactly.
And Amsterdam. So.
Yeah, if I were a better swimmer, I could swim probably.
I don't know. Would you be swimming with the fishes?
I would be swimming with the fishes.
It's not. You would be dead.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not an easy feat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we Eurostar, which is like super overpriced and everything, but it's super convenient.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's super convenient. Rather than you getting a taxi to the airport and like doing all that.
It literally is quicker for me to take the Eurostar. It's 20 minutes to get to St. Pancras and then 2 hours to get to Brussels. So it's really convenient. So I can visit my family quite frequently. Like I have a band in Belgium. And we like rehearse online with this very elaborate nerd setup. And then, if we have a gig, I just go to Belgium. So it's very close and that's very convenient. And my mom came to visit me here as well. So
oh, that's nice. Just once in the 3.5 years.
Just once.
Just once.
Yeah. We're not that close.
No.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, it's convenient. So
yeah, no, I guess that there's always that element of it. But like even for me, living here for a while now, there's a lot going on. However, I do feel isolated sometimes. Do you get that feeling at all? And then maybe even more not having come from here as well?
I think because it's such an international city, I get that sense from everyone. Like I've met very few Londoners. I have one friend who's like an actual Londoner. I have a lot of English friends, but they're from all over. So even for them, it's like going home is like this trek that they do. So in a sense, it has this sense of everyone being kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, that's so
which
true.
I think is pretty cool. Feeling isolated, home is where the heart is, right?
Oh, that's sweet.
I miss my family a lot. And I have a lot of friends back in Belgium as well. And yeah, I miss them a lot as well.
Did you find love? Did you find love here?
As in like a friendship group or like a significant other?
Significant other. But then, yes, I guess you did find friends because I know some of them.
Yeah, that friend of a friend. Yeah, I made a lot of friends here. It is both an easy and a hard thing to do in London. Yeah, that's nonsense.
No, I do agree with you. It really depends where you live, whether you have opportunities at work, whether you have opportunities to go out to the pub with people maybe your age, people your, like
exactly,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it really depends.
Yeah,
it
and
can
like what
be
your
easy,
hobbies
but then
are. I ended up making a lot of friends and it's been super fun, but I've met a lot of people who've struggled a lot with that and I can totally understand. Like you said, if you're in the wrong part of London, London's big. It's hard to get to a place where you can meet people. I was very lucky to have really, really great colleagues and become really good friends with them, but not everyone has that luck as well, so it's tricky. Friends came super easy. Dating, completely different story. I have a girlfriend now. Yay, we're all happy. Dating life in London, I think, is difficult.
Hinge?
Hinge, probably number one. Bumble, sure, works sometimes. Tinder, I have no idea what that is. Like, are there people on there or is it just robots?
I do actually know people that got together through Tinder.
Oh.
Which, they're broken up now. But I always thought it was like a sex app. And therefore never really...
Yeah.
When you're all in the same place, everybody knows what everyone wants. I kind of feel like it's less exciting in some ways. Like when you're on Hinge and you're kind of like, you start something and you don't know where it's going to go. I think that's more exciting than you all on one app knowing full well that the end game is one thing. I always thought that with Tinder. But then some people, like I said, got relationships from it, so...
Anything's possible. But
it starts with a swipe.
oh my God, is that their slogan?
I think that's what it... Haven't you seen the massive billboards on... Oh, you don't take the tube
I don't
because
take the tube because I take the overground.
live in
I take the
East-
tube sometimes.
Not enough to be able to see the fantastic...
I feel like it starts with a swipe is a bad slogan for a fire-based app.
I think...
Come up with a fire-based pun.
I think that's Tinder. It might be Hinge.
Hinge doesn't have swiping though.
Oh no, that's
press
the
swipe.
app that's designed to be
You've
deleted.
shown your ignorance. Oh, that's actually is a good slogan. Good job, Hinge team. Tinder team, work on it.
Yeah, you found someone. Was it just the app game? Because you can meet people in real life.
Yeah, you can. It is weirdly hard considering the amount of people you meet. I did occasionally meet people in real life as well. But yeah, you end up on the apps. This is a thing in London, is you end up on the apps.
Well...
The wasteland that is the apps, I found.
The app wasteland.
Yeah.
Because you said you're in... What was the job you said you had?
Research, science.
Is that a place you can meet people easily? It doesn't sound like, because I'm just working off stereotypes
Yeah.
of being called a genius scientist. I was like, how did he meet people? He must be shy.
I live in a box
Yes.
with a whiteboard and I write equations.
Where's your little jacket?
Oh shoot, I should have worn that. Yeah.
Do you have it?
No, because I don't actually go into the lab.
No.
I work in a lab, technically. So everyone around me gets to go into the lab. I don't. It's sad.
That's
I
sad.
have goggles though.
That sounds deprived.
It is.
You're going to write a song about it.
Maybe I will.
The Lab Life.
The lab.
My Deprivation by Nathaniel. Would there be something you'd do differently if you could do it again? Or was it sort of a smooth sailing move over? Thinking of moving to London or UK or East, even though there's no tubes.
It was weirdly smooth sailing for me. I think I moved literally during COVID and we were in lockdown in the first 4 months that I lived here.
Dude.
But yeah, I think I would say, and this is kind of something I learned earlier in life. I lived in Portugal for a bit.
Okay.
In Lisbon, which is like, it's not a big city like this, but it's a fairly big city, fairly international. Something I kind of found there is that you just gotta sort of put yourself out there. You have to be active to like make something from a city like this. It's easy to kind of get scared and feel isolated and sort of go hide in your little apartment, which in London, let's be honest, is going to be very shitty.
It's actually not bad here.
It's actually not bad, is it?
The plants make it.
Yeah, it was bad when I moved in here. It was an absolute crackdown.
What do you mean by a crack then?
There was no table. There was one couch. It was very old and disgusting. There was no plants. It was awful.
Yeah, I don't know about buying, but the renting
Yeah.
culture in London, it's a bit of a jungle. I've
Another
lived in-
wasteland.
Yes, another
much.
wasteland. So dating and renting, wastelands. Brixton, terrible.
Have you lived in Brixton then?
I have
Yeah.
lived in Brixton. Why do you
Cool.
ask
It's a
that?
hip place to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, I left it before it got too expensive because it's gotten very expensive now to the point where the estate agents, it's not like they care enough because they know people are going to want to rent. So they don't make, like,
Yeah.
if you have an issue, they're not going to come over, like, you know.
Well, yeah. And it's also because there's no regulation here, right? I mean, I don't want to go on a political rant, but, you know,
Oof.
if you don't regulate a renting market in a place that is very desirable to live, then you get a wasteland, basically. So I think that's one of the big issues here. And that's why we're all just scrambling for rent money. But
It's
is what
why
it is.
I've heard of the words buy to let. It's like you literally, people are buying properties just to rent them out.
yeah.
And it's just kind of like you're taking it off the market
Yeah.
straight away. And that could be a whole different conversation.
That's for your side podcast.
My side podcast. This has been Sam and
Nathaniel,
from
Belgium,
who's...
a scientist. I actually realized I never said what type of science I do.
What science do
It
you
sounds
do?
like I don't do science.
You do
at all.
science. That's
I
kind
do.
of what anybody needs to know, really,
Yeah.
I guess.
Mathematical biology is what I do. Google that.
Uh-huh. Okay. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
Bye.
That was it, really. That was the end of the questions. That was
That was all the questions? Oh,
that was all
okay.
the questions.
I was having fun.